After rookie minicamp last week, phase 2 of Denver's offseason program is in full effect, but who stands to gain the most these next few weeks? As we head towards the summer break, we'll discuss that. Welcome in to Broncos Weekend, everybody. I'm Matt Boyer. Broncos Ring of Famer Rod Smith will be along in just a moment, but as always, we start in studio with the Hall of Famer.
What's up,
Steve Atwater. Steve, it feels a little bit like football. I know we're a long ways away from training camp, but last week, the rookies hit the field, phase 2 of the offseason program, so we had a lot of vets. Attendance was high. What's it like seeing these guys back in the building and seeing these guys on the field?
It was great getting to see a firsthand glimpse of these guys. We've been seeing them on TV. I've been reading about them, and finally to see them out on the field doing what they love to do and what we love to see them do, it's really amazing.
Steve, these rookies I want to get to real quick. They've only been here for about 10 days. They've had physicals. They've been fitted for their equipment. Their first walkthroughs with Coach Vic Fangio. We've been along for the ride through all of it. So let's take a look at what these rookies have been through these past couple of days.
It's always been a dream of mine, to be on the stage in the NFL. Now the opportunity is here. And I'm forever grateful to be in this moment. There's still work to be done. But just going back of what I did, how far it took me to come here, it's just an exciting feeling. Going into the league as a rookie, you always gotta have a chip on your shoulder no matter what, because you gotta go out there and prove yourself again. So I still got the same chip on my shoulder as I was coming in as a freshman in high school. I was coming in as a freshman in college. So it'll always be that same chip on my shoulder.
Them trading up to pick me in the second round, I feel like I got to return the favor. And just coming in every day, working hard, and just showing what I can do. Taking it day by day, just getting better every rep, and just trying to help the team get better anywhere I can.
It's been a while.
It's been a bunch of kind of pinch myself moments, but it really turned real yesterday after our walkthrough when I was able to put the helmet on.
You documented me documenting.
Just all of it, the putting on your gloves, all the sounds and the smell of the grass. Like there's so many different senses that just remind me of playing football, and it's always a rush to have that. I definitely got the love from Broncos country, and that's always awesome. To have the fans have your back as well is always, it's kind of a cool experience. Right now, I really all I'm really focused on is learning the playbook. That's crucial, and not only learning it from one position. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to learn it from both guards and center. As an interior offensive lineman, you're kind of expected to know all three of those positions. That way you can slide in, and it not only adds value to myself as a player, but it adds value to the team to where I can gain that trust to be able to play all three of the positions.
It's like I told these guys last night, there's over 800, 900 colleges playing football. And they all have over 100 and some guys on the roster. And now you're down to 32 teams that pick 53 on the roster. And it's over a 10 to 15 year period. There's guys in their 30s playing in this league, late 20s. And, it's a man's league at the highest level of competition. These guys have to be ready for that. I was impressed with what the guys were able to learn in the meetings. They did a good job. Now, obviously at that tempo, it's a little bit different than real life, but I think they've done a good job of learning up to this point, and that's what we need to continue.
The rookies have been able to cram a lot into these past couple of days. We saw Quinn Miners there, Steve, taking a photo of his helmet on his cell phone. I do the same thing, okay? If I was looking at my helmet for the first time, I'd hold it out there, take a selfie with it. I'd do the whole thing. With these rookies, though, Steve, these next couple of weeks, what do they need to hone in on? What do these guys need to make sure they know before we hit the summer break?
Well, I think more than anything, they want to have a good grasp of the terminology. They want to know where guys are lining up, and they want to start getting an idea of what the adjustments are. What are the audibles that are going to be called? And one of the best things they're going to be able to do, I think one of the most important things is get guys' phone numbers and reach out to them so they can connect and learn this defense better. So when they come to camp or when they come back later in the summer, they'll be ready to go and be on a much higher level than if they just did it all by themselves.
Rookies have just a little less than 4 weeks, Steve. We're only 4 weeks away from the summer break, so they got to cram in as much knowledge as they can here in these next couple of weeks. We've got to take a quick break, but when we come back on Broncos Weekend, we move from the rookies to the vets. Which guys have we seen back on the field, and who stands to make the biggest strides this offseason? We'll tell you after the break. Some familiar faces are back on the field for your Denver Broncos as we wrap up phase 2 of the offseason program. Welcome back into Broncos Weekend, everybody. Steve, done with phase 2. Phase 3 now, okay? That means pick up the pace a little bit. Guys are going to be able to wear helmets on the field. Team offense versus team defense is permitted. No live contact, no live pads, so we're still a long way from football. But I want to talk about some of the guys that stand to gain the most from these next couple of weeks, okay? The obvious choices are the new guys, right? Teddy Bridgewaters or Mike Boone, or the new guys, Ronald Darby, the guys that are coming into the Broncos for the first time. So I want to talk about some of the less obvious guys, the guys that are returning from last season coming into this offseason program. So give me a name real quick. A guy from last year or a couple of guys from last year that stand to gain the most from the 2021 offseason program.
I'll give you 2 names.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler.
Good ones.
For one, I think they feel like they have something to prove. Now, KJ Hamler had some injuries last year, didn't contribute as much as he would have liked, although he did have some big catches. Same with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy had way too many drops last year, more than he likes, and certainly more than he's used to having. So I think this is the period where they can get in sync with the quarterback. Now, they got to get in sync with 2 quarterbacks. Well, 3 or 4. We got 4 on the roster, but they'll probably be getting most of the reps with the top 2 quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. And, they got to get that confidence level up, and they got to show the coaches, look, man, I got great hands, I got great speed, I can stay healthy, and I'm going to be productive this year.
This must be heaven for KJ and Jerry compared to last season, because I remember talking to KJ last year. He said just getting used to being back in the huddle took a long time, into the regular season, in fact. So to get up to speed this quickly, those guys must just be loving it. I want to talk about another receiver, though. Courtland Sutton. Stands to gain a lot this offseason because he's been here the entire offseason working out, rehabbing from that torn ACL. I bumped into him a couple of times. We've both seen him out on the field, rehabbing. You see that spark in his eye again, Steve. You see that.
He's always
that fire.
had it, though. I mean, Courtland, he's just got the greatest personality. He's always in a great mood. He's always positive. And it's all of our hope that he's able to come back and be 110. If he's back 100%, it's over. I mean, this offense is going to be special.
How much does this offense need him from for him personally, it's a big year for him from contract-wise because this is the 4th year of his rookie deal. But as a leader, how much does this offense need him? Just thinking about, he's really the biggest name now with leadership chops because you think back a couple years ago, he was in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, again, his leadership qualities is up there way on another level. And his enthusiasm, his positivity keeps guys going. Guys come off, they make a mistake. Come on, man, forget about that. Let's go. We need you. So, and all that stuff helps, man. It helps.
Steve, Courtland's injury last year, it was devastating. It really hurt that Broncos offense. On the flip side, Von Miller, that one was a gut punch as well. But to see him back on the field now, see him smiling out there. You see the enthusiasm is back with Vaughn. And last year, we talked a lot about him being in the best shape of his life, right? Coming into training camp, going into the season, and to have that freak injury happen was crushing.
Yeah.
But he stayed positive. We mentioned the positivity with Courtland. Stayed positive. Stayed around the team for a lot of his rehab last year. How much can Vaughn stand to benefit from this offseason? Because it seems like Courtland, from a leadership perspective, this defense is going to lean on him a lot.
Oh, most definitely. And, Von Miller coming off of the injury, I think his mindset is one that, hey, I got to play this whole season. I want to be not only a leader on the field, but he wants to lead in sacks and tackles the whole 9 yards. And we saw the path that he was going down last year with the way that he was working in training camp. He'd run and get a sack on the quarterback, and the quarterback throw the ball. He'd run down the field and catch the receiver before he gets to the end zone. All those things were a great sign. But the only thing that I think Vaughn, and he may have this in his mind, but once you start getting up there in years 9, 10, 11 years, you can't go like you did when you were a rookie in terms of just taking all the reps, doing full speed. Sometimes you got to, hey, coach, let me get a break. Let me get a couple plays, just because once you get up there, it's not the same. The body's not the same once you start getting up there.
That hand goes up a little quicker, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
asking for a breather. One of the guys that could spell Miller this year, Steve, that I really think has potential to have is Malik Reed.
Malik Reed.
It's Malik Reed. A guy who, I was thinking about this the other day, Steve. 2015, 2016, that Broncos pass rush was fantastic. You had DeMarcus Ware, you had Vaughn, and you had Shaq Barrett. I think Malik Reed can be in that Shaq Barrett role where you've got Chubb and Miller kind of headlining things, but you're getting valuable production and snaps from Malik Reed off the bench. I think that this guy led the Broncos in sacks last year, edged Chubb by only half a sack. What do you like about Malik's game going into 2021?
Man, it's the same thing I liked about him when he was a rookie. The guy he just has a motor. He has a motor that doesn't stop. He's very physical. He's not the tall. He's about 6'2". That's still plenty tall, but he's not the 6'4" guy. So a lot of people may take him for granted, but man, he's strong, powerful, and he gets to the ball. I love his game.
With those pass rushers, and if those DBs can stay healthy, can this be a top 3 defense, Steve?
Easily.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, fine. All right, top 3 defense. You heard it here on Broncos Weekend.
That's right.
With the Hall of Famer. Steve, we've got to take a quick break, but when we come back on Broncos Weekend, Rod Smith joining your A-team will get his thoughts on the QB competition and whether Rod believes another undrafted player is in line for some success with the Broncos in 2021. That's next. Welcome back to Broncos Weekend, everybody. This week on Atwater's A-Team, Steve is chatting with Rod Smith about the Broncos quarterback competition, as well as whether or not Rod believes there's another undrafted gem in the midst of this 2021 Broncos rookie class.
Great friend and even better person and leader, Mr. Rod Smith. Rod, thanks so much for always making yourself available to come on the show. How are things in Rod's world?
It's good, man. You know, every time you call, I'm dropping what I'm doing. Definitely appreciate. I talk about it all the time. People think it's so near and dear to me that the things you taught me when we played together on and off the field. And anytime you call, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. Let's do it.
All right, I appreciate it. So hey, let's start here. The 2021 draft took place from April 29th to May the 1st. We drafted some really good players.
Yeah.
And we signed some quality free agents from college free agents. What are your thoughts on this year's rookie class?
I really like it, man. I think Surtain played against his dad, so it was crazy to see now him in orange and blue playing against his dad with the Dolphins, playing against his dad with the Chiefs, and now we have that young man on our side, and I just know he's going to be a great addition. All the guys that they got, it's hard with the draft. It's kind of like a gamble in a way, but there's some bets that are surefire, and I think our first 3-4 picks that we got are going to be guys we look to make an impact this year. I think those young guys will come in and get some reps. And of course, I'm always partial to the undrafted guys. So I'm really looking forward to us keeping, 3 or 4 of those guys as well.
Yeah. Well, now, how do you see guys like Patrick Surtain and Patrick Surtain the second
yes.
and Javonte Williams fitting into the Broncos' plans this season?
Honestly, immediate. That's why I say you don't draft guys that high. But that talent level speaks for itself. Williams played well, running back out of Carolina. And Dre Bly and I talked off and on, a lot, because I played against Dre, and Dre coached with him over in Carolina. So seeing us get him, and he's a heck of a player for them. Even though the college football season seemed abbreviated, you saw the talent that those guys displayed. In the short while they knew they had to go all in, and he was one of those guys that stood out. And that's why he got drafted where he got drafted. Yeah.
All right, now, Rod, you still take pride in being an undrafted player who proved all your doubters wrong. Can that same thing happen in 2021? I mean, how challenging can it be for an undrafted player to crack the roster here in 2021?
There's a couple of them. Matter of fact, is one of them on our team right now. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx anything. But this whole season, I think a lot of talent is going to get misevaluated because of the shortened football season, the way the offseason was, the COVID protocols, the pro days were more digital than you physically getting to go there. So it's a lot of great talented guys that probably slipped through the cracks. And I want them to know this. Don't worry about that. If you got cleats on, you got a chance. That was always my thing. Keep them dang cleats on your feet, you got a chance. So now they can come and really show what they can do. They didn't get to probably show it in college, or their senior year was a little bit of a kind of a mix-up. But there's going to be some guys, I believe, that are going to really show, like, why this guy didn't get drafted, and within 2-3 years, he'll be a household name.
Okay, all right. You heard it here first. All right, hey, so Vic Fangio said that Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater are going to split snaps, and things will be 50-50. Now, as a receiver, Are there some challenges that the Broncos might face when trying to build rhythm with both quarterbacks?
Well, you know what? What I think right now, because it's early, right? And I think coach is being fair by saying, hey, listen, we got 2 guys that can start. You know, everybody always go 1A, 1B or whatever. Hey, this series of practices, you go take the first 4 reps, then you take the next 4, then the next, they go 7 on 7, you get 4 like that, so they can really mix it up. But the thing is, though, I think it's fair, and I think it gives the guys a chance to really thrive with the conditions, because for everybody else it's the same. It's rare that one guy plays every snap anyway. So the receivers, it shouldn't be, oh, well, he's throwing the ball and throws it different. You got to catch it. That's your job, right? Your job is to catch it. Let them worry about them. But I think it's going to really, I think both of those players will raise their game. And I think, and I hope they make his decision very hard. I hope they make his decision very hard on who can be the starter, because you need good football players on your team. And I think that's fair to say, hey, listen, we're going to split it 50-50. You guys, I'll let your play determine. And play is not just about the plays you make with your arm or your legs. It's more with your head as well. You know, being smart, and can you lead the guys? Energy is a big deal that I look at when you're looking for, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah, but do you think it'll be tough on the quarterback too, not getting a ton of reps with whoever ends up winning that position? He wouldn't have gotten as many reps with the ones as he would have if they had already decided on the quarterback.
That's a good point, but here's the thing. You got to make do with the reps you get. You make do with the reps you get, because here's the thing. Who's to say there are 1s and 2s? There's going to be multiple guys that receive. There's going to be multiple different linemen. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully there's not, but it always happens. There's a 100% chance that everybody's not going to take every snap. You know what I'm saying? We lost Cortland last year. No one expected that. What happened? Tim Patrick comes in and act like he's been a starter for 2 years when it was his first year, right? So the quarterbacks have that. They don't. I think that dilemma only, as far as trying to build continuity. No, let me get these reps. That's all you want. I remember Keith Burns and I used to always say, you always hear guys argue about one more money, but no one argues for more reps. You know what I'm saying? They give me more money, give me more money. Say, no, give me more reps. That was my thing. I learned that from you. I learned that from watching, Sharp and Elway and Crockett. You guys were like, I just want reps. And I said, you know what? If they just give me some reps, Rod's going to make them pay me. They'll pay you if you get into those reps. That's the key.
Oh, man, I love it. All right, now, Broncos starting phase 2 this week, where the veterans and rookies get on the field together for the first time. How important are these next few weeks for the Broncos to make sure they get good work in before the summer break?
For the rookies, sometimes you're going to be a little bit in awe. You're going to come in, okay, now this guy, because these guys you saw in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Idolized a few of them, right? Because that's the way I was. But at the same time, you quickly got to snap out of it. And here's what you do as a rookie, or just not the rookies, but some of your first-year guys, second-year guys who hadn't been getting a lot of reps. I got to go show them I belong on this football team. I got to show them I know what I'm doing, and I'm willing to go as hard as I have to go and do whatever I got to do to make the football team. And for the veterans, you can't come in here like I've already arrived, because that young man over there that's idolizing you wants your job. So as a veteran, you got to, hopefully you've been doing some stuff off the field now that when y'all come together, that you can show them why you're the leader. You can show them why I'm Drew Lock, I'm Teddy Bridgewater, why we're fighting for this starting job, because we deserve the opportunity. Cortland's got to get back into the fold. Not that he can't play, but that knee injury, I had that injury. So it's going to be a little different mentally for him to get the reps and be around all the guys. But for him, it's probably exciting because he's been by himself for a long time. So I think that first, like you say, that first week is always off. Honestly, it's always off because to gel takes time. And the good thing is they get to come together. And it seems a little bit better than last year with all the protocols with COVID.
Yeah. So how the guys, kind of put together their competitive spirit, put aside the competitive spirit and help the players out, knowing that they're competing for the same position? How do they still help the veterans, especially help the younger guys when they know, hey, we're competing for the same job?
You know what I did, man? Because I was in the young guy spot, especially being on the practice squad, I wanted every chance I could get to learn. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the receivers on the team at the time, they didn't teach me jack. Come on, man. They didn't. You know what? I watched them. I went got the breakfast for them and that kind of stuff. But they were cool guys. Trust me, they didn't disrespect me, but they wasn't showing me the ins and outs. Vance Johnson shared some stuff with me. I definitely will say that. But for me, I took it as an opportunity that if I help this man, I got to get better. because I'm teaching him the things that helped me get here. And so for me, you know, from Brandon Marshall, Ashley Lee, all the guys I work with, from Scotty Montgomery, people probably don't remember my man Scotty and Charlie Adams. I try to teach them everything I knew because I felt if I could have probably made it in the league a little bit better, a little bit longer if I'd got some help. So those veteran guys, don't be afraid to share the knowledge with those guys. Trust me, if you're the guy, he ain't gonna take your spot. That's the way I looked. I said, I told Brandon Marshall, I still mess with him to this day. I said, I taught you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know. So there's a difference, right? Nice. So as a vet, you still want to go out there and show them why you're the guy.
Oh, hey, man, appreciate it as always, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Take care. All right.
He might have gone undrafted, but he is a top pick for us when it comes to being a guest on this program. We appreciate Rod, as always, for taking some time with us. That'll do it for us today on Broncos Weekend. For the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater, I'm Matt Boyer. So long, Broncos country. We will see you next week.